Howdy crypto friends, hope you're doing well. Didn't put out a video yesterday as far as crypto is concerned, and that's because not a whole lot was going on. Some channels have resorted to drama and really, stretching for content. But if there's nothing to talk about, we're just going to save everybody time, including ourselves, and not put videos out. So we're going to look at some altcoins here today. Over this weekend, we're doing a lot of research in the US marijuana sector. And if you've been watching these videos for over a year, you know that we were talking in these cryptocurrency videos about the opportunity approaching in Canadian marijuana about 18 months before the hype really hit mainstream media. There was tons of profit to be had being ahead of the herd in that scenario. And we're looking to do it again here with the US sector, and just making you aware that there's going to be a video sometime in the next week or so. Once we're done compiling our research and sharing our information with our team, we will put that out there. So looking at the weekly timeframes first, here on Bitcoin, as we know, we're continuing to remain in a tightening range. We double topped with the reaction to the Tether action, and that is now the resistance level that I am watching, 68.23 on the longer term time frame. As far as where we stand, we're right in the middle of the range between support and that key resistance. So we're just patiently waiting for these tightening ranges to break. And for a while, for a long time, we were saying end of September, early October is when we're going to be looking for this break. It's extending a little bit beyond that. And I would say if we do not see a clear break within about a month of trading, it would then start to reach a point where I would say this is being artificially contained. I'm not saying that at this point, but that is something that will stand out to me just because of the amount of times we've seen a long, drawn-out tightening pattern. It will be clear to me, in my opinion, if it is artificially being kept within this tight range. One of the reasons that people feel it's being manipulated to stay in this tight range, again, this is all speculation, but some people think that there's significant accumulation going on. And a question a member had is, if big holdings are looking to accumulate, why wouldn't they drop the price below 6,000 significantly and get cheaper? And the answer is, if you drop the price below a key support level, you increase a lot of volatility, and you do not accumulate large positions on dumps and then V-shaped bounces. You cannot accumulate large positions when there's that much volatility. When the price is nice and slow and steady and drawn out, and there's not a lot going on, and there's no interest in the commodity because there's not a lot of volatility, that's when you can get accumulation of large positions just by slowly adding to it. And again, it's the volatility that makes it a lot harder to accumulate at a certain price point. So if I'm looking for, $10 million of Bitcoin, slowly, week by week, just adding to that position, keeping the cost basis the same in the low 6,000s, as opposed to, again, the volatility and trying to add on that volatility, it's much harder to do. So that's just a theory, again, complete speculation, but that's what some people are talking about, so wanted to touch on that. And again, we're continuing to patiently wait for the backed exchange, for Fidelity's trading platform to come out. And those are events that are looking towards end of 2018, early 2019. And I do absolutely anticipate a weekly uptrend in cryptocurrency in 2019. Not going to try and predict when that's going to happen, but I will be profiting on the cryptocurrency space in bullish positions in 2019. I don't have much of a doubt of that. Looking at ETH on the weekly chart, again, it's the potential of a bear flag, although at this point, the bulls are attempting to hold this higher low of 167. Our low right now, trying to be the higher low, is 184.81. In order to change this weekly trend, we have to hold 167 and see a bull break of 255. And that would give us the higher low and break of the lower highs. But at this point, there's no indication of the weekly trend change. And it's not likely at all that we'll see ETH break the weekly trend and shift to bullish without Bitcoin doing so as well. XRP on the weekly chart, higher low looking to be established, much more space to work with due to the pump that we saw in XRP. So the higher low is now 377. The bulls this week following through with a little bit of a recovery. But if we look at the daily chart, there's still a long way to go before the bulls get comfortable that the weekly higher low has been set. And we pretty much have to see a break of 525 in order to see this follow through. Trying to build a higher low of support on the daily, anything above 399, actually 398, anything above 398 will do it. And at this point, the bulls are looking for this higher low at 456. We'll see if they can follow through. You can see the daily ranges are really tight. So we zoom into the 4-hour chart. We can see the 4-hour ranges are pretty tight, but it looks like we did just get a bear break. Actually, not just yet. On the verge of a bear break of this 4-hour inside bar, you can see this tightening range, and this hourly support is being tested right now. Just to go back to Bitcoin and look at the shorter term time frames, the daily chart is looking for a higher low as well. the 4-hour time frame and the hourly are back over exponential resistance, and they're acting as support at this point. So a couple days ago, I woke up and said, all right, the hourly and the 4-hour exponential moving averages are resistance. That's all I need to be watching today. As long as those are resistances, the bears have complete control. If the bulls can turn those into support, that's a shift in momentum. That's when I need to start focusing a little bit more and do some fresh analysis, because as long as those levels are resistance, it's very straightforward. So now that they are support, the question is, can the bulls get follow through? And the most important resistance level for me is 64.93 and 64.89.83, essentially a double top at that level. And it will get interesting for the bulls if those resistances can break. If those resistances cannot break, the bears remain comfortable. They keep control of the short-term action, and we just continue to see tightening ranges. Again, the most important range for me is the day of the Tether fiasco. And that's for any individual coin. I anticipate to stay within this range for a while. It could even be multiple weeks. But once we get a break of this range, it will be very notable. It's either going to give us a bull break and a break of the weekly lower highs over this double top and this range, or it's going to give us a bear break below the low of the day, and we're going to be heading right back down to test 6,000. So that range is the most important range, but we do have a shorter term range to be watching where we held the low of consolidation down at 63.45, and we have the double top. So essentially it's a double top and a double bottom on this 4-hour time frame. And we're just patiently waiting for the market to sort itself out and give us a clear break of this initial range. And once this initial range breaks, then we zoom out our mindset to the broader candle from that Tether day. So now we're going to look at some of these altcoins that members have voted on. BAT, BTC, weekly chart, huge bull volume, really nice follow through. Still very clear lower highs, and that's not going to change anytime soon. 67, 58, 56. Anything under 56 is a lower high, and that's still a long way away. So we're not going to change the weekly trend at this point. It's going to require a lower high, a pullback to a higher low, and then a break of these lower highs in order for the weekly trend to change. So just keep in mind, yes, it's a lot of bullish action, but the weekly trend is very likely to stay bearish. Big upper wick on the daily chart showing some consolidation likely coming. The last daily high or low was all the way down here at 2555. Tons of space where we need to consolidate and form that higher low. Whenever I see this clear bearish reversal candlestick, I look at the details and say, has the hourly uptrend been lost? The answer is yes. So consolidation is clearly underway. Support is down at 3629, and if that level breaks, it's 3575, but the most important level after 3629 is down at 35. In terms of resistance, we've got 3762. And if the bulls can break 3762, we would zoom out to the 4-hour time frame and watch to see if we have a 4-hour equilibrium forming. Keep in mind the 4-hour uptrend is still intact, and the 4-hour trend is looking to form a higher low. The question will be, do we form a lower high after that and see this 4-hour tightening range? So for BAT, BTC, I would be watching the 4-hour time frame for the most clarity. Look at the exponential support. It held the initial consolidation. It's catching up right now to this consolidation. And the question is, can the bulls hold it again and keep control of healthy consolidation and trying to keep this uptrend intact? Very significant follow through for the bulls. Certainly lots of opportunity for profit. And the bull break for continuation was 336. And we made it all the way up to 39 after that. So almost a 20% move with that solid follow through. DGB, BTC, weekly time frame, not a lot going on here. Things getting tight. We're coming down to test the support level. And in terms of changing the trend, step number 1, bulls have to see a break of 408, and then we would be looking up at 474. But if you look at the daily chart, there's still not much going on. We did just drop to lower lows. At this point, the exponential moving averages have to see a bull cross. Look at the last time we saw the bull cross. It was on this solid bull run back in July, but it's been bearish ever since then. And even though the price has gotten over these exponential resistances, it has not been able to maintain above those levels. And so we have not gotten a bull cross. So keep an eye out for a bull cross to be a potential signal of a significant move. And this is the kind of setup where you are patiently watching as a bull, certainly not acting on it at this point. But, you know, if you see a move with big bull volume show up like it has in the past and completely shift momentum, when things get this tight and this slow and volume drops off, you do keep an eye out because there is the potential that the bulls do show up out of nowhere and start to break these resistances. So most important support short term is 351 followed by 322. And if the bulls can see a break of 389 and 401, that's when the bull momentum is going to start to be very clear on the daily time frame. So this is one to just keep an eye on. Again, not anything I would be acting on at this point if looking bullish. NEO USD weekly time frame still favoring the bears because we have been unable to prove any kind of bullish follow through. I've got resistance of 2080, and the next level after that is up at 2530. As far as support goes, not a whole lot of support down here. 1526 and then down to 1368. And if those two levels break, there is no support nearby. These are must-hold levels. If we look at the daily chart, this is a weak bounce attempt that's not doing anything to change any kind of trend. 1890 and 1889 is a double top. That's a level that stands out very clearly for me, and going to have to break that level to start to try and shift this momentum. So 1890 is the most important resistance on the daily. Support is down at 1650. And then that 1526 level, again, have to be very cautious. And this would be the kind of play where I would look to play bearish. If Bitcoin gets a bear break on its weekly time frame and we head down below 6,000, look for NEO and other altcoins that have no support nearby. Again, just look at the weekly chart. And we're dropping down towards levels not seen on these charts. And those are the kind of plays that you want to go bearish on, because any play with no support is likely to see a more magnified move to the downside than Bitcoin. So worth keeping an eye on, but in my opinion, we're going to see the major names break bullish from their trends before NEO would, because NEO has much more work to do on the daily time frame in terms of percentage moves to try and break bullish. ZRX BTC, one thing I want to point out here, very interesting, this article here that Coinbase put out, and this is pretty much Coinbase saying, or CoinDesk I should say, I thought this was Coinbase article, but CoinDesk pointing it out that it wasn't inside information that allowed volume to spike on ZRX before Coinbase's official announcement, and it was really savvy traders. This just shows you that you can get an edge in the market. So what they did is they had a bot that recognized changes in the APIs, and the change happened on Coinbase's API to begin this listing process before the announcement was official. They saw the API change. They saw that ZRX was going to be listed. They jumped in. The price then spiked 30%, and they profited on a clue. They found a clue, essentially, and it allowed them an advantage in the market. So there are definitely ways to get one step ahead of the market, and this is a great example of using some ingenuity to do so. I doubt that Coinbase is going to allow this to be exploited in the future, but a nice little lesson to be looking at in terms of what happened in the past. So the weekly time frame for ZRX BTC, again, anticipating a weekly lower high, even with all this action and all this volume for the bulls, anticipating a lower high compared to 18.6, and that's just because we have a lot of space to go before we even get to that resistance level, and we've already run a good bit, and a solid amount of volume hasn't even taken us to that resistance. And so we would look for a weekly lower high. If this trend is going to change, it's likely going to come with a weekly lower high, a higher low, and then a bull break of that trend. And that's where most of the individual names on the weekly time frame stand, where they need that higher low and then the break of the lower highs in order to see any follow through. And one of the charts that we just looked at, I believe it was BAT, same standpoint. So lower high would be anticipated even with all the bull volume we have, and have to see that higher low and then trend change in order to break these longer term downtrends. So for ZRX, looking at the daily chart, currently healthy consolidation underway and trying to establish a higher low. The last higher low was established here down at 10.55. So anything above 10.55 is a higher low, and this isn't the higher low yet because it's just an inside bar that did break bullish. So we look at the 4-hour uptrend, and it is shaping up like a potential equilibrium, and I almost would want to look at it on a different time frame where we have the high, the low of the pullback, and now we're looking for a lower high to be set. Let's see if the daily is setting up. It is setting up for an equilibrium. So again, high, low of consolidation. We're going to look for a lower high if the bulls are able to see continuation here, and a tightening daily range that is most easily viewed on the 4-hour time frame in my opinion, and the last 4-hour higher low is 13.65. So at this point, a loss of the 4-hour uptrend will tell us our daily lower high has been set, and we would then look for a higher low compared to 12869, the low of consolidation at this point. Exponential supports are a part of the uptrend here as well, holding those levels. And the question is, can the bulls break 14.45 in order to see some follow through before setting that anticipated daily lower high? If we break the 4-hour uptrend before breaking that level, we'll say that our daily lower high has been set and look for that range to tighten up. And last, we'll round it out here with RVN BTC. And this is still a very extremely strong name on the daily time frame, and this is just recently listed on Binance. Healthy consolidation, and we're looking for an indication, has our daily higher low formed? Huge bull run volume, decreasing volume on consolidation, exactly what the bulls want to see. Support at this point is 416, and if we look at the hourly time frame, the question is, has the trend changed? And before I did this video, I looked and it had not changed yet. We were right here, and there's that follow through on increasing bull volume. The hourly trend has very clearly changed. We had our low, high of the bull move, broke some resistances, and then we had a pullback to a base of support, and the continuation confirms that the hourly trend has changed, which tells us our daily higher low has been established. So to find the next resistance levels on the 4-hour time frame, 494 and 529 are the most important resistance levels, and we'll see if the bulls can just head to a straight shot of continuation, and if not, on this daily time frame, we'll look for a lower high and tightening range into next week. A fairly similar setup to what we're looking at on ZRX BTC, just on a bit of a different time frame. So that's where we stand. RVN and ZRX looking the strongest on the daily chart, and of course Bitcoin still very tight within its 4-hour sideways channel to be watching. And that's where we're standing here as we head into the end of the weekend. There are plays to be had. The names that are not easily shorted or completely unavailable to be shorted are certainly seeing more prolonged bullish moves in this market, and that is where traders are making some bullish gains. So keep an eye on ZRX and RVN to see if they keep those strong uptrends, and we'll keep an eye, of course, on Big Daddy Bitcoin and see if we break this 4-hour range over this weekend. Appreciate you watching. Gonna do some good things today and wrap it up here with some butterflies and birds and things. And I hope you have a good weekend. Keep an eye out for that MJ video. We'll see you tomorrow.